This video will introduce the tool Assessment and Management of Organizational Evidence, in short AMOE, which is one of the components of the MEDINA framework. We have divided this session in 4 chapters. First, the overview of AMOE, then we will show how to use it. The following part is dedicated to show the installation. And finally, a part for further information. Let's continue with the introduction, purpose and role of the evidence gathering tool within the MEDINA framework. AMOE can be used as a gathering tool for organizational evidence based on policy documents. The extracted evidence is presented to a user or auditor for inspection. The user can decide if the presented evidence does fit the requirements and set an assessment status. The defined assessment results can be forwarded to the rest of the MEDINA framework by sending it to the orchestrator. AMOE offers its core functionalities to be used via the UI as well as API. The relevant data needed to extract the evidence is loaded on demand. This ensures that every time a new policy document is uploaded, it is considering the defined target values at this point of time. The used values are stored in AMOE for future inspection. This is a diagram of the MEDINA framework. It depicts how AMOE fits into the architecture and the main components it interacts with. AMOE is highlighted in red. It retrieves data from the catalog and orchestrator and sends the assessment results to the orchestrator. Here you can see some more details on the data exchanged with the other components. AMOE retrieves metrics and requirements from the catalog. Custom target values are retrieved from the orchestrator, if available. Once the assessment process is finished, the results can be sent to the orchestrator. Some of the actions require user interaction, such as uploading documents, decision on and submission of assessment result. Let's continue with the main functionalities and metadata required for evidence extraction. In the table you can see examples of metrics as they have been developed in the MEDINA project. AMOE is using organizational metrics, as shown in the second row, to extract the evidence. The columns depicted here are the most relevant for AMOE. The operator and target value are used to compute pre-assessments, aimed to help the user reach decisions faster. The evidence extraction is using the question contained in the description as well as the defined keywords. The control ID is used in the UI to provide the user with additional information, by displaying the respective EUCS requirement. This can help the user to reach a decision for the assessment result. To provide you some context, we summarized the main steps of the extraction pipeline run in the background after a document upload. First, the uploaded document is transformed from PDF to HTML to obtain a structured document. Then, the metrics and policy text is pre-processed. For instance, the information contained in header and footer of the document is removed. Finally, a pre-trained question answering system is applied for all the organizational metrics available in the catalog. The extracted evidence is stored in the database and can be viewed via the UI or the API. Before we come to the demo, here is a list of the API endpoints implemented by AMOE.
Let's continue with the demo of the MEDINA component AMOE. There are 3 main roles defined for AMOE users. The first is the read permission. Users can view all documents uploaded for the cloud services assigned to them. Furthermore, the users can view the extracted evidence and assessment results associated. The second permission allows the user to upload new policy documents. It also allows the user to stop running processes and delete all the data except log data linked to an uploaded document. The third permission allows the user to set assessment results and comments and submit them to the orchestrator. This demo will be using an admin user which has all the permissions enabled. This is the landing page of the AMOE component in the integrated UI of MEDINA. Let's start by uploading a new document. Click on the Upload button. Now you have 2 options. Either you select a local file or you supply an URL to your document. If the URL requires authorization, you can add this information by activating the respective option. Finally, select the cloud service for which the document shall be uploaded and click on Upload. If you selected the wrong file, you can stop the process by clicking on this button. You can delete the file and extracted evidences by clicking on Delete. You can view all the uploaded documents on the landing page. You can sort the entries by clicking on the headers of the table. In the Progress column, you can see the percentages for the current assessment status. In this case, 32% have been set to compliant, 26 to not compliant, and 40 remain to be assessed. Now let's continue by viewing the extracted evidence. Let's select an uploaded document by clicking on the file name. Here is an overview of the extracted evidence. On the top, you can view metadata of the file, such as the cloud service, the file ID, the file name, the upload date, user that uploaded the file, and how many metrics were successfully used for evidence extraction. In this case, 67 out of 67 metrics were successfully processed. On the top right, you can see the number of metrics set to compliant, not compliant, and the number of metrics that remain to be assessed. You can click on the bars to filter the table. This button resets the filter. On the bottom, you can see the list of evidence extracted for each metric. Each row contains the question as well as the answer and an assessment hint. The assessment hint is the computed pre-assessment using the operator and target value set for the respective metric. If no target value has been defined, the assessment hint cannot be computed and is therefore set to undefined. The last two columns show the actual assessment status chosen by the user and whether the assessment results have been submitted to the orchestrator. In the case the assessment status is set, but it has not been submitted, a button is displayed to enable submission. You can use the search field to search for metrics. In this case, we search for all the password policy metrics available. To set an assessment status, click on the metric ID. In the top, you can view the requirement linked to this metric. To hide the requirement, click on the name. In the middle, metadata related to the evidence is listed. You can use the button Show Processed to display the content of the processed document. You can see the answer highlighted in green that has been extracted. After viewing the evidence, you can check the assessment hint and set the assessment status. Furthermore, a comment can be added to address non-conformities. You can use the button on the bottom right to submit the evidence and assessment result. You can also submit it in a later stage and continue with the next metric. Here, the wrong answer was retrieved, so the assessment status is set to not compliant. For more transparency, a comment is added. To get back to the file overview, simply click the file name in the breadcrumbs. You can submit multiple assessment results at the same time by selecting them and afterwards clicking Submit Selected. You can see the date of the last changes below the fields in the form and which user made the change. Also, the date, time and user related to submission is shown below the button. If you have finished, you can return to the home screen by clicking on the top on Uploaded Files. If you require any help, you can click the Help button. This opens a new tab showing the user manual. Thank you for watching the demo of AMOE.
Next, we will give some technical details of the component and how to install it. To run AMOE, first clone the repository. AMOE uses two databases, Redis and MongoDB. They can be either installed locally or simply deployed by using Docker. To allow AMOE to find the databases and MEDINA components, the respective credentials and URLs have to be configured in config.py to run the application, either build and run the container or simply start the Python program locally. AMOE is programmed mostly in Python and uses the framework Qt for the API and web service. Redis is used for session management and the evidence and application data is stored in a MongoDB. To conclude the video, if you still want to know more about AMOE or MEDINA in general, here you have some pointers. If you need some more details about the component presented so far, or about the MEDINA project in general, you can visit the official webpage on the first link where you will also find all public deliverables of the project. Project-related videos such as demos or training videos are also available in the MEDINA YouTube channel. The third link points to the MEDINA community in Zenodo, where, among other things, the papers produced during the project are available. Finally, the source code of the project is available at the last link in the MEDINA GitLab. And that was it. Thank you and goodbye.